So I haven't seen these games before. I was asleep when they happened. So this is the first time I will be looking at these. Okay.
Late you can get. Forced.
He does lock in the Tristana as a secondary option. SK got a lot of scaling here.
They do, and it's another combo they have run before where they have Nami just to offer some early aggression in the laning phase where Tristana is very weak after her change.
So these bans are exactly what the GE Tigers did at IEM. So they're just trying to see if it'll work again, I guess. Not sure you have to ban Syndra here, even though Power of Evil's good on it. Hecarim and Annie. See, here's the thing: is that you know that Hylissang is super good on this Morgana, and Unicorns of Love got through their entire last series just by first picking it and him making plays. So I would be worried to let him have this. I think if I'm SK, I try and ban out Hylissang, honestly, because against Gambit, he was probably the single largest factor to their victories was his skill shot accuracy. It was very impressive. But if you force him on a disengaged support, he can't do that. So honestly, maybe you ban Thresh, Annie, Morgana. Also, that powers up your duo lane too, because that's the strength of SK. So, not sure about that. And if you look at the team comps here, I don't know if you need two big-time scaling carries here. This is risky. This is risky. Honestly, I think I'd rather see like a Corki here, so you have some more power in the mid game, or actually Sivir. Actually, I'd take Sivir here. I think Sivir would be really strong. And that way you can help Cassiopeia get in case she doesn't have Ghost, and you have good wave clear in the mid game. Okay, if you want me to turn down the volume. So no, the Nami pick is fine. The Nami pick is fine for disengage and protecting the Cassiopeia. This is, I mean, we're seeing that mid Kog'Maw again, so they're trying to match poke. They have good poke here, and they have a really solid front line. And I really like the Jinx Gragas combo, just because it splits people up. Gragas is great with single target hyper carries, because when he splits people up, you can, like, champions like Jinx, either she's going to get a reset because she can just auto one person pretty safely, or Vayne for the same reason. There's a strong synergy between these two champions. And, of course, Gragas is just super good right now as a big frontliner with the Cinder Hulk changes and Scion. So this is a good composition. They've got great siege between these two, really long range, as well as good fast push. I really like Unicorns of Love's comp. You have to be a little bit worried in the laning phase, though, I think. So you don't die on the Kog'Maw. But other than that, I just think SK, they have to wait so long in this game to really power up that it could be dangerous. They have a lot of late game champions here, and especially the fact that most of their damage is late game. This isn't a very well balanced composition, but if they can make it to the late game, they'll be fine. They just have to play safely early. Yeah, I like Unicorn's comp quite a bit. That Luden's Echo on AP Cog is really nasty. I actually, okay, here, I haven't seen these games, and I know that the only thing I know is that Unicorns wins 3-2. I don't know which games SK won and which games Unicorns won.
Don't really do anything before you hit level 11 for Power Beaver. You get rank 2 of your ulti, you get that Luden's Echo, and you start sieging up. All he has to do is land 2 ultis on one target, and that target is forced away from the tower, opens up for the Jinx to come in now and just melt these towers here in a matter of seconds. That's the whole goal here for the Unicorns above. And they're also trying to match SK.
Yeah, I'll upload this one on YouTube. You know why I didn't upload the last one on YouTube? Because it was shit. And I don't think that I was very insightful, and the games were so bad that there wasn't actually much to say about that last series, actually.
One of them is going to be fantastic in all in team fights from SK Gaming side.
So I didn't care about uploading them. Because I was too lazy to cut the VODs when they were trash.
Long enough for their scaling comp to switch on. They did make a number of mistakes against Gambit in the quarterfinal, and SK will punish them in a similar fashion.
Okay, now you want the NVM volume back up.
God,
God, make up your mind. There you go.
Okay, taking the 2 into lane. As we mentioned, Tristana is not the strongest in the early stages. You need to get that BF salt so you get some damage on your E, the explosive shot, which now of course scales with attack damage for her. And then obviously your goal as a Tristana is not to kill and fight early on. It's to get to the point where you, a bit like a Jinx, can get to a tower.
I'm a bit surprised that UoL didn't lane swap here and just fast push the crap out of everything.
It plays into SK's style so heavily.
Just because you have that Jinx to fast push, so why not go ahead and use it? And the roaming Morgana may be able to set up some damage on the immobile mid laner like Cassiopeia. And the combination of Gragas Morgana ganks early is really strong.
One more minion here from Forgiven and he gets it.
For the record, Hylissang has landed his first binding of the game. If that continues,
Yeah.
that's a good sign for Unicorn.
Man,
Same bottom lane, the Rand
as much as a lot of Unicorn's compositions don't make sense, or you question the Morgana priority, you have to respect them for knowing how they can make plays and then just grabbing that in the first round of every draft. Like,
they would get a kill because they have a
if
super all-in
if Hylissang can deliver as hard as he does on that champion, there's no reason not to take it first, just to make sure you get it, because it has been instrumental in their wins so far.
Jinx.
It's a good example of knowing your strengths.
Wait for level 6 before we really see any action for them. First gank here, we're expecting Svenska to be very active in the early game. He's not afraid of a Gragas on a Rex side. That's a matchup he's gonna win, so he can look for these early ganks.
And it is what we were talking about in that mid lane. You're not scared of a Cogmore pre-6. You're not scared of a Cogmore when you've got that Cassio. Take a look at Sven. He wants to push his way down to this bottom lane. Flashes are available. We do see the tremor sense. Svenskaren's come in. He's knocked up Hylissang, but Hylissang's flashed. Bubble has caught. Rocket jump in from Forgiven. Hylissang and Vardax in full retreat. They're looking for the kill, not gonna find it. This explosive charge does pop. Only the flash from Hylissang burned, but a lot of in from Forgiven.
Let's watch that gank again.
Way down to this bottom lane. Flashes are available. We do see the tremor sense. Svenskaren's come in. He's knocked up Hylissang, but Hylissang's flashed. Bubble has caught. Rocket jump in from Forgiven. Hylissang and Vardax in full retreat. They're looking for the kill.
Eh.
Not gonna
I mean,
find
it's
it.
a nice gank. They burned a summoner for nothing, basically. But
Only the for the kill, not gonna
let me think about this actually.
Rocket jump in from Svenskaren's come in. He's knocked up Hylissang.
Svenskeren should have.
Available. We do see the tremors at Sven. He wants to push his way down.
Svenskeren, I think, should have flash and burrowed onto Vardags as soon as the.
Tremor sense. Svenskaren's come in. He's knocked up Hylissang, but Hylissang's flashed. Bubble has
Yeah, he actually could have burned Vardags' flash there at the very least
They're looking for the kill.
by flashing over onto Vardags afterwards and reburrowing.
Does pop. Only the flash
So,
from Hylissang burned,
but
a lot
because the jungler flash isn't worth very much compared to getting the AD flash and being able to follow up on that gank.
Weeks for them. Svensson doesn't put too much attention on the top lane anymore. Freddy, he can handle himself. Now he's been playing Maokai quite a lot. You don't really want to invest too much into him. Instead, you see Svensson around the mid lane and the bottom lane, especially when they have a matchup that can snowball. Tristan and Nami here, if you start getting a lead, you can force these bubbles here. As we talked about how it's shorter, cooler than the Black Shield. So by giving Forgiven a great start, get him to that BF sword, he can start being a bit of a bully.
great bubble, and that black shield's not going to help you from the charge. Vardax.
Yeah, you know what? I just don't understand why. Yes, SK is very good at fast pushing in a 2v1 as well, but I think you try and take the fast push advantage right here, because if you're Unicorns of Love,
That's hurt him a tiny bit, but he's yet to
an early advantage will prevent SK from scaling into the late game,
thanks to
and you should have the edge in terms of sieges as well because of the Cassiopeia when you have Kog'Maw Jinx in the mid game. So I think you don't even get into a situation where you have to play 2v2 against Forgiven and N-rated when they're so strong in the laning phase, and you know that the ganks are coming in. I think that just depowers them, and it gives SK a better chance to scale into the late game. So I don't really like Unicorns of Love. I like their comp a lot, but I don't like the way they're playing it out. I think they should have tried to go for the lane swap.
When they're stuck on the opposite side of the map. But that's all in the future, and again, the Unicorns not really looking first few levels. You've got to get level 6 in your bottom lane, and you need a level 11 in your mid lane before we really start seeing some plays from them.
And we'll see if they can make their way there safely. Power of Evil farming up, already back to pick up that relatively early tier. Fox still farming away that middle lane, pushing quite as heavily as maybe he could have, as he has decided to just back. You see Freddy jumping in on Chachi as Helisang lands another Dark Binding. It's a zap for his troubles, Ignite burning away. Vardex is going to take a pop.
Hillsang lands way too many of those bindings, just like every single time.
But Eraser's got a full mana bot and will slowly be able to heal Forgiven back up.
And also with that early gank here, we see a difference in items from the 280 carries. Pickaxe for Forgiven, he got to push in the wave, had a CS lead as well, while Vardex was forced back and only got double Thorn. Svenska now is in the top lane trying to force a flash.
And I think he's going to get it. Visit Chachi low mana actually just walks straight out. Take a look at the river though. You've got Gragas and Cogmore coming up. That's level 6 with Living Artillery. We do see an instant flash away from Svenskeren as Visit Chachi's now joining the fight. Freddy does have access to that Maelstrom, is going to pop it down. Forced a flash in reply.
Alright, I mean, nothing's really happening yet, but SK this is really a good situation for SK so far. Even though we had both flashes blown in the top side, compared to none, just a ghost used by Power of Evil, this is still a very favorable situation for SK. Because remember, they just need to hold out in the laning phase. I'm curious what he's gonna build. If he's gonna build Glory, or if he's going to build Rod of Ages. Probably should build Glory this game so they have better engage, and they need more speed boosts, preferably onto Cassiopeia and to Rek'Sai here for good engage. And also, you don't want another item that's going to scale, that requires time to scale into the late game, because you have Tristana and Cassiopeia, so you don't even need magic damage from Maokai here. You just need him for engage and CC. So you're really using him for utility, so I hope he builds Glory.
There's no mid lane at the moment. We can roam and counter gank up here. And obviously Svensson shouldn't have gone for the gank in the first place if he knew there was no response from his own mid lane.
Well, we got to give some praise to Unicorns. There was so much pressure on their shoulders to survive through the laning phase. It's still early days. Only 8 minutes.
No, I have to do the TSM series tomorrow because I have to film the countdown tonight. So if people, if people want me to do that one or the C9 versus TL, I'll do it tomorrow.
Also, just honestly slower scaling champions from SK than what we normally see. It's normally assassins in the mid lane. It's a lane bully in the bottom lane. And that's where you can't pick that slow scaling come from Unicorns of Love. Because they saw what SK Gaming were picking here, they could still go for their tried and tested style themselves. Didn't have to worry too much about SK just rolling over them in the laning phase. As you can see, it's been a bit of a farm phase. Only in the bottom lane is a big difference. And that's also due to the gank from Svenskan, but also Nami being a fantastic laner.
Forgiven manages to just hop away from that Dark Binding from Helisang. As we do see Kikis making his way towards this bottom lane. It looks like he's going to come in for a gank. His body slammed over. That's a flash barrel. Forgiven is going to flash away from that Dark Binding. Continues to get chased down. Less than 100 HP.
That was a really good gank.
Kikis will look for that last. That Dark for a gank. Kikis making his way towards this bottom lane. It looks like he's going to come in for a gank.
That was such a good gank, man. Kikis has been playing really well in the playoffs, even if he does play dumb champions sometimes. Because he hits 6, watch this, he hits 6 off the Gromp right here. Immediately gets it, is on the bottom, look at his pathing. He hits the Gromp right, he knows he's going to get 6 right here. Right? So if we go back, boop, ba-doop, ba-doop, ba-doop. So he hands off blue. This is a normal timing after the second spawn of the buff. That usually if you've just been hard farming, you can get the level 6 off of the first, sometimes, yeah, first camp usually, sometimes second camp, depending on how fast you've been. And then he immediately sees that they're pushed forward, and Forgiven is still chunked out from earlier when he got hit by that bind. And then look at the confidence in this. Body slam, flash bear, what a baller. That's just great ganking.
Chased down less than 100 HP as Helisang and Kikis will look for that last hit. Helisang doesn't even go for the kill. Let's Kikis secure it.
But also kind of dumb, This is kind of dumb from SK because they should have known that blue buff was getting transferred, and therefore Kikis was on the bottom side of the map. So they were playing too aggressively considering the situation they were in, even though they had wards.
Connects onto Enrated. We do see the super mega death rocket into the giant smiley face. Kickers is looking for another one. Decides to
No, they should just fast push right here.
Bizachachi, the unstoppable on.
You don't need to commit to that kill, you just want to get the tower down right now.
Was trying to set something up middle, didn't work out. But Unicorn, first kill.
Bot lane gang here, Kickers, he jumps into
Oh.
the bush and he doesn't wait, just throws the ulti instantly here, knocks back Forgiven.
Damn.
Such a nice setup and no reaction.
Holy cow, this is so greedy, going for an Avarice Blade right now. They're in a giant power trough, because look, they have tier Avarice Blade.
Super important first blood.
Unicorns really need to push this advantage, because otherwise the scaling's going to get pretty crazy later on. Fox went for Blasting Wand over Negatron as well.
Dawn's Blade from the first one. And Forgiven.
So he's very confident in his ability to lane versus this Kog'Maw.
Suddenly now the all-in potential of Vardax and Hylissang is going to be insane. And SK Gaming has to be careful in this bottom lane 2v2.
Well, we'll see what they can do. I just got confirmation from our observers. Chachi was in fact running away from a gank down the river to safety. Not forced to burn that flash. So thank you for that update, guys. Take a quick second to look at the itemization. Kickers working his way towards the Cinder Hulk, of course. Tia still stacking for Power of Evil.
Oh man, I really don't like this. Well, I'm conflicted about Cinderhulk versus Warrior Enchant on Rek'Sai, because I've seen those games where Rek'Sai builds it, and then she's just not as tanky as the enemy jungler in the late game, and it really messed things up. But at the same time, if Svenskeren builds aggressively early and is able to successfully get these ganks, the power of the Tristana and the power of the Cassiopeia in teamfights in the late game is going to be enough. But I still think he's probably better off going tanky here, just so he's more resistant to poke. Because the big problem is Power of Evil. You know he's going to build tier into Luden's Echo, and then you need to be able to absorb some of that poke with the extra HP, so you're not forced off of objectives immediately. So I guess in this situation, I'd rather see the Cinder Hulk than the Warrior Enchant on the Rek'Sai.
Comes to her to SK. They've rushed the dragon down so quickly. It is secured by Kickers. He throws
Wow.
the smite and picks up dragon number one. He failed flashes. He face plants and Chachi drops him down with the help of Power of Evil. Now SK are scattered.
Let's look at the setup for this dragon.
And suddenly you secure an early
So they walk down. Remember that... I don't understand why teams make this mistake. I'm so tired.
down from the top lane.
I'm so tired of seeing... Wow, that is a... Look at that. Holy shit. Svenskeren needs more wards. Holy shit. That is a huge difference. This is a big problem. Anyway.
He can push it away first and then TP if needed.
Well, take a look at those ward differences.
Anyway, the mistake I'm tired of seeing the teams do... Why are you trying to take Dragon right now? You're trying to scale.
Go straight to the
The best thing that can happen for SK right now is that they continue to chip towers and to deal tower damage, because if they get a gold lead, they'll be able to scale into the late game faster.
and suddenly you secure an early objective. SK Gaming knows
You don't... What is this first dragon doing for you? It's doing nothing, and you didn't even really push this in, SK. Look, that's the last minion in the wave. It's just going to reset into the middle of the lane. You're not stopping anyone from walking down here. TP's going to be up in just a second, so either your TP timer is probably wrong,
he's walked all the way
or you're ignoring it, because here it goes.
TP just a few
There. So now it doesn't matter if Freddy's here or not.
Chachi here. He can push in the wave first and then TP if needed.
Well, take a look at the
And you have 2 items that you bought for scaling. What the fuck?
those ward
Stop it. Stop doing dragons. You don't have to do dragon. Just let them get 2 dragons, sit in lane, and if they want to make a move, then just push down their towers. And then come back when you're full strength with your super farm Tristana and Cassiopeia and just wreck these fools.
differences. As you can see, SK clearing out. Svenskeren significantly lower wards. And we'll see whether or not this lack of vision comes to hurt SK. They've
There's the
rushed the
TP.
dragon down so
And you look at the Gragas burst too. First off, that was very well played by Kikis. But I mean, this used to be a problem. Remember with AP Gragas as well, how he used to be able to steal Barons all the time because his ult, his barrel roll explosive cast combo does more damage than Smite. Well, it's early in the game, and sure, he doesn't have any AP, but the base damage on that ability plus Smite is still going to be able to deal more damage than Smite from Svenskeren.
So quickly. It is secure.
Also, I don't think this challenger... I think you should just go Rangers. I think this is stupid. What are you going to do with this, really? I suppose maybe you can use it on Fox. That's the only thing that's really useful.
Unicorns of Love are trying to grab control of this series. Freddy is going to get chopped down by the Lumberjack and the rest of the Unicorns as Svensk...
It's just so terrible, like... Vardex has the advantage right here. And also, look at this. Vizicachi comes in with Cloak already, right? Well, all the damage is AP because he just has a pickaxe and an Avarice Blade. So this is super efficient right now. God damn it. I don't understand what happens in these games, because it happens all the time. Can't you just look at your comp and be like, well, we don't need to fight this dragon, and just let them have it, and let them get out of lane and then chip their turrets in the meantime? Maybe you're lucky. Maybe you get one down. Maybe you just posture around the dragon to waste their time a little bit while you continue to push up mid and top side. It drives me fucking crazy.
Kills for Vardex, kills for Power People, that's the important one here. Wait for that Luden's Echo, wait for his rank 2 ulti, and then you're gonna see Unicorn start grouping and really be annoying. So let's see it again. Ulti in.
Wow, 46 HP on that one. It's close. Close call.
For himself. Sadly for SK, some missed flashes as well.
Heartbreaking.
Then you get a sign ulti in your face.
Oh, you're not going to miss when you throw it down from that close. Still a lot of damage onto Unicorn.
Even if Fox had flashed, Freddy still dies here, no matter what.
The engage been slightly less favorable, maybe it could have been different, but all praise to Unicorns. They responded, they rushed into the dragon, and that teleport 1 second later, never know, never know.
Well, good reaction time at least. That's what we got to give them. Not really any reason to figure what could have happened. You saw here from the Unicorns exactly what happened, and it was good for them. Good reaction, Chachi on this sign. I mean, sign into Maokai. It's not the most exciting lane in the world.
Well, a lot of faith
yeah.
in favor of the Unicorns of Lab. A little bit of a lane gank. That was a flash away from Freddy. Scared of the barrel. Summoner spell blown. But Unicorns, definitely their play style is pulling so many fans. And you know, one thing we're going to touch on, SK Gaming during the regular split went 15-3. The only teams they lost to was Fnatic in the finals, H2K in the semi-final, who dropped to Fnatic, and the Unicorns. As it stands, Unicorns have put up a very strong fight against a slightly different flavor of SK.
Alright, is anything going to happen now?
That's safe to say. Yeah. Not the same lane bully style we have seen before from them. But
And it's not a massive lead either.
This is only game 1 for them.
Wow, they're really going for this?
To see if they can pull off one of these compositions here. Kick is ready to steal
Yeah,
more
you can't.
away from Svenskeren. Might even try to look for a fight.
No.
Dark Binding does not connect. Svenskeren still
Not gonna work. Well, they got it away from Kog'Maw, so that delays tier stacking. That's all fine and dandy. Really disagree with finishing this before Abyssal though. Really not a fan.
Which is level 11.
400 for Power of Evil. He has
Especially now that Power of Evil has Luden's Echo. I mean, Fox has to dodge everything, and you can't really rely on that necessarily.
SK's towers. They
And also, you know, this is mostly magic damage right now that you're going to be playing against, and you're going to want a little bit of,
more confident to make aggressive plays.
Well, the thing is, now
a little bit more defense. I don't know.
bottom lane, they
I think if you're going to do this, you should build just tier Abyssal.
because they can contest 2v2 and they know if Binding connects, they can get a kill in this bottom lane as well.
He's just really, really vulnerable to ganks, too, this way.
Already grouped in the mid lane, Binding down a tower for themselves. And this build from Power Vivo, it's very risky because it relies on you using your mid-game spike now with his rank tools, with the Luden's Echo. It delays everything else in terms of the late game where, in terms of items you need, you're not going to get, let's say, an Athene, so you're not going to have that extra mana regen you need. You're not going to get, let's say, an Athene, so you're not going to have that extra mana regen. So you need to connect your ultis, otherwise you're just simply going to run out of mana and not do anything. So the spike mid-game with Luden's Echo Rush is super important to use. Otherwise you fall off compared to, let's say, Tier into Athenes, into Seraphine's Grace, and so on.
Well, let's find out how this jungle interaction goes. Kikis and Svensker and trading damage is relatively even thus far, but Kikis was forced to use that explosive charge, pop down the barrel, and actually is able to just waddle his way out.
I wish we could see turret damage right now, so we knew how that was progressing, because that's going to be pretty important for Unicorns here. They have to start getting people off the turrets. And we saw top just a little bit ago, and it was a little over 50%.
Like this ward here, you can TP to it if you manage to connect the binding from Chachi. There's one on
This is really good for Unicorns. Very nice. Hi, Freddy.
This turns it into a 3-on-2. Freddy is in the back line, but here comes Svensker. No available support from the rest of the Unicorns. 3-on-3 as they trade kills. Fade away rocket secures a kill as now Chachi and Vardax are trying to chop down Svensker and Freddy. It ends up being a 1-for-2 trade, and Freddy still sticking around. Defensive void rush from Svensker and his kick is.
So let's talk about that gank.
Of course, Cassier's gonna get that extra cooldown spam.
Like this ward here, you can TP to it if you manage to connect the binding from Chachi.
So this is another timing where his TP literally just came up. Because if we look at that, right? Look at the timing from this from Unicorns. This is really well played. Look at that. The binding is flying literally as the TP comes up. And they make a play off of that immediately. So they're really, really ready for this. This is good comms from UoL. The Unicorns have great comms here because I guarantee you if we listen to this, Vizichachi's like counting down his TP timer right there. And they're trying to look for a play because they know they can snowball this game if they get some turrets. So UoL, I think, is playing out their composition really nicely, and they know their strengths at the moment, and they're trying to set this up right now. Even though there are a bunch of summoners down here, it doesn't really matter if they kill anybody, but the pressure they get from this gank is insane. Especially because he just went back and bought the double cloth armor as well. So this is a really well orchestrated gank. And then Freddy is just responding, but by that time another bind lands, and Hylissang is just so good at setting up the. Look at that! Look at his dark bind. It's like every time. This guy, you can't let this guy play Morgana. He will ruin your shit.
No available support from the rest of the Unicorns. 3-on-3 as they trade kills. Fade away rocket secures a kill as now Chachi and Vardax are trying to chop down Svensker and Freddy. It ends up being a 1-for-2 trade, and Freddy's still sticking around. Defensive void rush from Svensker and his kickers was shoving down the top lane. What more can the Unicorns get? They won the fight, and they're going to put pressure.
If they don't ban, if SK doesn't ban Morgana this series, I'm going to kill myself.
Most likely maybe take if to stay around for another wave. Seems like they don't want to be too greedy though, and just backs away from this one.
You would have thought they would have learned from the Gambit series.
This is why they're keeping the lanes going and don't group with this fed power wheel or fairly fed power wheel.
No, just push, Unicorns. No.
Because they know land with this seems like they don't want to be too greedy though and just backs.
This is smart of Kikis though to push up and then force the Void Rush into the top side, so they're just trying to push all the lanes right now to get as much damage as they can onto the towers.
Fairly far away, but this is why they're keeping the lanes going and don't group with this fed power wheel or fairly fed power wheel in the mid lane, because they know land one binding, you can all in. They even had the teleport coming in on that ward, and it paid off. Those 2 kills more. Vardax, despite losing in CS like he did against Gambit, he picks up all the early kills on this Jinx, and that helps him get to his late game point a lot faster, despite losing in farm.
Vardex 301, sitting on around 2,000 gold, is about to shop. Picks himself up that Infinity Edge and Berserker's Greaves.
See, this Dragon's okay from SK though, because they know what they did was Svenskeren went to the top side and he pushed out the wave, and I think the Unicorns of Love thought it was a good time to recall because they wouldn't do Dragon without the jungler, but they did. And here we're gonna take a look at this one again.
Notice the TP timing. As soon as the
Yeah,
thrown by Hylissang, he communicates to Vizichaka.
That's such a good TP setup right there.
So it comes in even before it connects, and that's a 100% kill even without the TP. But then you stay around for the fight. They respect the fact that Freddy can teleport down as well. Meanwhile, look down at your pip. That's the grouping we talk about, how you get to that tower here, you land a bit of poke, and then the Jinx is just going to melt the tower on her and forgive it. Also going down in the very end. Nice little ulti from Vardex.
Really well played from Vardex indeed. Firing off that death rocket after being hit by the buster shot, no less.
Which tower went down?
What a dramatic
Mid?
effect. So Unicorns got themselves their
Yeah.
first tower of the game. SK also secured that bottom turret thanks to all of the build-up for the first 10
Okay, so
minutes. Don't forget that. And we return ourselves to this lane setup, even on CS.
now that there's no Dragon at the bottom side, they should push this wave.
Avarice played for a little while longer.
Kika should just get in lane right now with these guys and shove this up. If they don't get the tower, then they need to swap their duo lane into the top side.
Let's see how Unicorns decide to play out these lanes if they want to keep evening or trading towers.
We saw the focus on
Yeah, this is real good.
beforehand. By them staying and pushing the wave into the tower and getting
Very, very good. This is exactly how you should play this out if you're Unicorns.
Anyway, they care about getting at these outer turrets so they can start sieging on the tier 2 ones. It's a
Yeah.
the further you get into the enemy territory, because then you just walk the entrance.
Really nice. Okay, so now they need just to back off. And ideally, if you're Unicorns, you take out this turret. They couldn't really bounce the wave down here, so it may be hard for Sion to farm. But you want to take this turret out and then transition into that next dragon. And of course, Kog'Maw can just hold in the mid just fine.
Still looking insanely strong with the loot in Zeko. If I know him correctly, he's going to aim for Death Cap and Avoid Staff as the next few items, and all he's trying to do is simply buff up the damage of the loot.
Where's my cup of whiskey at? It's noon. I'm not going to drink whiskey at noon.
Your HP. If you connect on the second one, you're forced back to base, and you cannot defend your own tower, and that's what he's aiming to do, simply by buffing up the loot and Zeko damage as much as possible, which is different because he doesn't actually have the best AP scaling, so you don't need a Death Cap. It's just
See, SK is in trouble though because they don't have enough wards here to safely push out this bottom side, so they can't actually get any kind of pressure right here.
They're up in every metric.
Not sure that Vardex and Hylissang need to be in mid right now.
One extra tower.
That's
They're ahead in CS.
kind of whatever.
Overall, and doing a
Okay,
very
now
good
they're
job.
going to go top side. Alright, well, if you want to just push it out right there, make sure you're extra safe. Hylissang gets some deep wards in. This is nice movement from Unicorns. Go ahead and make that transition into top. Get all the wards down. Great vision control. Perfect.
there, but it does mean he
Dive Freddy, sure, whatever.
the Unicorns can go 5 versus 1.
Well, it looks like the focus is the tower for until that dark binding hits. The mega death rocket comes out.
Man, this is much better play from Unicorns than we saw against Gambit.
Kill to power of evil. The bubble falls short because of the petrifying gaze. And Sven, you were on the wrong side of that team fight.
SK Gaming is reacting very poorly here to what's going to happen next. And Raid is showing himself on the bottom lane, at least walking down there, not even being close to the top side of the map.
Yeah, I'm listening to Deficio right now. He's right, because if we look at where N-rated was, he was like wandering around here for no reason.
It has worked thus far. We've just
Because remember that what we saw right here was Forgiven just recalling after pushing that lane up because he was scared of pushing forward. So is he just going to ward try?
except dragons rather. One extra tower. Ahead in CS.
I mean, that's reasonable. He wants... Basically what Enray is trying to do right now is he's trying to make it safer for
That with a
Tristana to farm further up that lane so they can actually do something in this game.
Now, the last outer turret.
But with the Tremor Sense, they see everybody coming in from Unicorns of Love, and Freddy waits way too long under that tower.
Can go 5 versus 1.
Well, it looks like the focus
And-
is alpha until that dark binding hits. The mega death rocket comes
Yeah,
out.
that's
The
it.
power of evil secures
Wow,
the
Svenskeren goes in. Oh, jeez, that's so bad.
That's a double kill to power of evil. The bubble falls short.
SK's communication is really poor this game because they made a decision to try and give... Right, okay, here's what you do. if N-rated is down here, he can't unmake the decision that he made to go put down these wards for Tristana, and Tristana had already backed. But instead of committing to that decision and just having Tristana split push right now or walk straight back into the bottom side, instead they commit very late to this top turret. In effect, by doing this, because you have to suspect there may be a ward on this side of the map. I'm not going to go back and check if SK knew or not, but whether or not they did, you can suspect that maybe he'll be seen going through this bottom side of the jungle. So you need to commit to the decision that you've made instead of waiting for N-rated to walk all the way back over across the map right here. Because you know Unicorns of Love was just in mid lane pushing this out, right? They're going down here and pushing. And so the natural thing for them to do is to start walking through your jungle, getting deep wards, and then zoning off the turret. You can fall back right here. You know, it's bad, but it's not the end of the world. Remember how hard this composition scales. And you could just be giving Tristana a lot of farm and putting pressure here so they can't keep pushing down onto your tier 2 afterwards if they get those kills. This is why it's really important once you make a decision as a team, even if it's not the best decision, to stick with it, because at least you won't fuck yourself like this.
You know the Unicorns want a group right now. You know they want to push down your towers. Try and read the minion waves and get up there in time, or leave it. Don't have Freddy stay on the tower on his own.
Yeah, they gave up so much right there. They gave up like 3,000 gold from doing that. Not to mention that this wave, this is creating a huge wave in the bottom side right now. And it's hard to tell, and I wish I had a replay system, Riot Please, after 5 years, to check out this game. Yeah, it is pushing this way. So this is actually building right here. It was a slow push minion wave, and now none of this farm. This farm is all wasted right now by SK, all of it. Huge number of minions. Meanwhile, Vardags is going to get so fed off this wave. Let's watch his CS. See how many CS this is. And Vardags is smart. Just wait there. Don't walk up there. You don't know where the fuck they are. Just wait. Yes, delicious minion wave.
It's pretty good if you build a Rhyolize as well, because then the slow will give you the double damage on the
Good, that was like 15 minions right there.
Now you're gonna have to rely on them either walking your E or you need to have a slow connect from
Safely farmed. And now UoL can just group in the mid lane and keep pushing. And look at this. Look at that timing. Great timing for UoL. All their timings this game have been very precise.
Only Freddy's gonna get an insane amount of HP. It is still, as you said yourself, this is purely, first of all, it's snowball with the magic penetration, and then it's just poking out targets. You don't need to kill them, you just need to force them back to base so you can take an objective.
Something else you got to remember, as long as Hillisang continues to play like a sniper, it makes Power of Evil's ultimate so much easier to land. Take a look at this aggressive play into Svenskjær, and the charge goes back to Sven, forced to tunnel.
See, that's why I think Cinderhulk is better, especially against this poke composition. Oh, Kiki's just gonna 1v3 them.
Hillisang has gone down. Here comes Chachi. He curves the bullet, spins around the corner, and is now taking up 3. Pops the shield to pop Svenskjær. Here comes Power of Evil. He's low on mana, but blue buff is ticking away. Visit Chachi, roars of the Slayer, and he's going to slam down the decimating smash. Not quickly enough as Power of Evil secures the kill. It is a 3 for 2. But a slightly risky fight from the Unicorns of Love.
A little bit being caught in the jungle. I think it's safe to say SK Gaming were ready for that one, for giving Gun himself a kill. Will try and take a tower as he knows the Unicorns are going to go for this.
Oh, that's about all you can ask for. Oh my. Oh no.
Well, if Kog'Maw was going to eat anybody, he's going to eat the walking sushi. Now he's setting sights on
Man, the Kog'Maw. Let's talk about this comp real quick, because one thing that's a little bit interesting about this that I hadn't considered before in terms of this. We'll talk about it in a minute.
Here's a replay of that team fight.
So let's see it again. It is the Unicorns of Love. They're looking to fight here. Visit Chachi at the moment is pretty far.
I mean, this is all really good, right? You don't have to commit more than this if you're Unicorns of Love right now. This is already winning the dragon fight. You already poked out their jungler. And now you can... They went a little bit too hard on this one, because now you can control the dragon as it comes up, and this guy is done. He's not going to be in the fight for the dragon, so you could just go get it right now, and then maybe you don't lose the mid turret. Yeah, that is a really good Cassie ult. And that was a good wave, too. So they set this up, actually. Unicorns actually stacked up in a choke right here, which wasn't the best against the composition that...
And now Unicorns are split up.
SK is running.
At first, Viscachi's coming now, and Kikis is down here on the bottom side, holding off 3 guys. There's nobody to stop Forgiven, but this is such a good.
So there's no need to commit to that fight, really. If you're Unicorns of Love, you already got what you came for, which was Dragon Control.
You make some noises I've never heard before.
Super awesome to watch. And we just see the damage from Power of Evil. I mean, when you rush these Loot and Zek.
Oh yeah, so I was going to talk about the comp. Remember how we were talking about like the synergy between Jinx and Gragas or Vayne and Gragas? The interesting thing here is, of course, with the Kog'Maw 2 doing that % health damage with his W, with his Bioarcane Barrage, you get a lot of single target damage that way. But also the Caustic Spittle will, if he hits that, will decrease the resists as well on a single target. So that's really strong. The Gragas is super strong with this composition. Because of, like I said, because he can isolate that single target just by blowing one person towards the team. It's really good. It's a really good comp.
And if we look at SK Gaming here, how are they going to start a fight against such a long-range poke machine that Power of Evil is at the moment? They only have either Flash Engage from a Maokai, but
Okay. Now I have to deal with chat. Thanks a lot, guys. Sorry.
hey, there's a Black Shield. That's going to stop that engage from happening. Then you're going to need some TP in behind and maybe a flash in from the Cassiopeia to break a potential Black Shield and get an engage. Otherwise, there's no way for you to start a fight. And SK banned Annie, not Morgana against Hylissang. And now this Morgana is stopping you from ever getting to Power of Evil and Varda in the back line.
Look at the damage. It's just poking away. Power of Evil.
By the way, if you spam this chat, I'm not going to give you a timeout. I'm just going to straight fucking ban you. I don't make money off of this stream. I'm not contracted on Twitch. I don't have subscribers. Like, I just don't give a fuck. So don't do it.
Is hitting 2 out of every 3 of those living artilleries. Forgiven was low. Freddy ate a binding. Raider took some poke, but they did not get the inhibitor turret. Unicorns need to push out their side lanes. Maybe set their sights on the bottom inner. It's the last one remaining before knocking on those inhibitor steps.
On level for Power of Evil, and he reaches the final form of I'm gonna be annoying and spit you in the face.
Implying that it hasn't been already?
Well, even more.
Even more, okay.
And you cannot engage because your only form is a Maokai jumping in onto a Black Shield, which is never gonna work. Then you need Svenskern to have a tunnel behind the Unicorn so you can jump to and then like get in from the flank. That could maybe be a way for SK, but they gotta find a way of getting both Svenskern and Freddy in at the same time on 2 different targets. Let's see what happens here. So Chachi's down.
This is not going to end well. Chachi's in between 5. He will get...
Okay, we need to look at the setup for this. Okie dokie. This is a really risky Baron attempt here from SK because they don't have top turret down yet, so they can't control top wave very well. And it gives a really good place for Unicorns to go back to. And Vardax is just quickly clearing this out, but they see AD carry in bottom side. So they're going to try and make an attempt at it. I think this Cassiopeia build is terrible. I think you need Abyssal. I think you really need Abyssal against Power of Evil right now. So I don't know why Vizicachi's going in right now. This is... You shouldn't be going in this early on. He's doing nothing. Look, they have crab control. How did they even get crab control? Oh, Vizicachi kills the crab and then walks in.
Let's see what happens here. Chachi's down.
This is not going to end well. Chachi's in between 5. He will get taken out, but here comes a passive of Science.
Literally no reason to be there. Fortunately, UoL is so strong that it doesn't matter.
What is more valuable? Kikis is about to get access to that cast. He's not going to get in range to use it though.
Now they can just take Baron.
They stall the game for a Kikis will start off this
They have
Baron.
so much single target damage between Jinx. They're going to be able to do this Baron so fast.
That's a very big tool, and Forgiven is not with his team. Hillesang
Let's do it.
waiting on
Just
the
do the
crown.
Baron.
He connects with
No.
the binding.
Just
The
do...
artillery
Ugh.
is out and power of
Fine,
Evil
whatever.
gets
Just kill
one
it.
more.
Doesn't matter. This game is pretty much over.
Holding on to that petrifying gaze, he flashes forward. Hillesang looks away, doesn't get caught, but he will get dropped by the poison. Here comes
Oh,
Forgiven.
okay. Or the
Forgiven's
epic
got
throws.
Vargas.
Wow.
Rated, that's a very big tool, and Forgiven is not with his team.
I wish we could see Baron HP right now.
Hillesang waiting on the crab. He connects with the binding. The artilleries are out.
Why is Kikis here?
One more. Fox gets pinned against the wall, holding on to that petrifying
All
gaze.
Kikis had to do was keep tanking Baron.
Doesn't get caught, but he will get dropped by the poison. Here comes Forgiven. Forgiven's got Vardags, and Power of Evil is in full retreat with low mana. SK Gaming have turned this fight on its head. And it's been long enough for Vizichachi to respawn and to teleport in. At the end of the day, two members of Unicorn still.
Oh, bottom left was Baron HP.
The petrifying gaze, he flashes forward, waiting on the. Kikis will start off this Baron. Let's see what sort of engage there is. Tidal Wave was used from Enrated. That's a very big tool, and Forgiven is not with his team. Hillesang waiting on the.
Maybe it wasn't low enough. Maybe you did have to turn. I thought it was going to be about at a third, not at half. That's a tough call. Well, you know that your top laner's coming back up like 5 seconds sooner. Regardless, you don't go in right now because here, with Kikis. Okay, so we have to look at what SK knows and what Unicorns of Love knows in this situation. There are no wards here, right? So after they get this pick, for all they know right now, somebody else on Unicorns of Love is tanking this Baron. So you don't have to walk into this choke. This choke was already controlled by the traps. If anything, if I'm Unicorns of Love right now, what you do, since you already swept this out, is you stand right here because there's actually a shadow that you can't see right here if you're right here in SK because there's Fog of War right in this little triangle. So you stand right here at this point and use the speed shrine to make it engage and wait for Vizichachi because you have a ward here and you have a ward here. So Vizichachi is going to have a 5-second advantage based off of TP timings. So you just want to stand here and make the pick. Because I think this is a good call. It was only at 50% HP, so I agree that they probably should have turned right here. But there's no reason for Kikis to be this aggressive. Because you want the guaranteed... Holy shit. Am I going to have to ban all of you? Do. Great. That was fun, guys. So, you can stand here and just hide. And this way you can use the advantage because you know N-Rated's already dead. He's not coming back anytime soon. So you're guaranteed to have a 5v4 and a 5v3, in fact, through the... yeah, I know they can see with Rek'Sai, but you can't see him if you're standing still. And you have to get close enough. You can come over this wall with Gragas. You know, at a certain point, they don't know if they're actually all in the Baron pit or not with Tremor Sense. Because you start walking up here, if you're Rek'Sai, because you're trying to get in range for Tremor Sense. But there's a possibility that you have to walk up close enough so that you can see if they're all in the pit. If you just get that pick and stand here and don't move, you're fine. And also, how does this even happen? Forgiven does get a good angle right there. Vizichachi just shows up right now. Did he TP as soon as he revived? Yeah, instantly. Where's he? Oh, he TP's in the back. So because he chooses to TP here instead of here, Forgiven is able to get this angle, and they're not able to zone out Fox or Forgiven, who just walk right up. So this is a TP mistake also from Vizichachi.
Forgiven's got Vardags and Power of Evil is in full retreat with low mana. SK Gaming have turned this fight on its head. And it's been long enough for Vizichachi to respawn and to teleport in.
Standing still in that triangle seems like it takes too much communication. No, because you just have, if you're smart as a team, you would have a specific call for that. I mean, I don't know. I don't have a word for that shadow right there. But if I was to be, coaching a team or be on a team in terms of comms, you want to make your comms as efficient as possible. So you need to be able to, in like 2 words, reference that play, so that everybody's on the same page. That's part of having good comms.
Doesn't really connect, but the Roar will slow a few on the retreat. Kickers is still very tanky, 1000 HP, is being melted away. Buster shot plus explosive may not be enough, and it's not. Now Power of Evil's flashing away. Somebody get me an oxygen tank. Decimating Smash gets charged up, and Chachi is retreating away. Fight of the ages. And Baron still left untouched. The rocket from downtown, no, that one went wide.
Went wide. We saw here for Power of Evil, this is why some players like their Things build, because then you can have these long fights, still get some mana back. He was completely out of mana, only sending 1 ulti, I believe, for the last half a minute here when they were fighting back and forth. But SK Gaming felt like they had to do something. Trying to force a Baron fight is a way of maybe splitting up Unicorns, maybe surprised him a little bit. Ended up, we can say it backfired, but then again it would have been the same if Unicorns had grouped on a tower, which is what they want to do. Unicorns don't need to start a Baron here. Go 5. Go down to a tower, play that game. You don't need to risk putting your carries in a Baron pit where SK can get to them.
I, for one, think that was quite a smart play from SK, despite the fact that it was sloppy and drawn out. Baron was not taken by either team. The inner turret in the bottom lane is still standing. And that gold lead becomes less and less as the game progresses. But
Freddy's been out of position so many times this game. It's ridiculous.
really not in the right position. And all of a sudden, Unicorns 35 seconds without their opponent's tank. The cask is...
They should just Baron.
That means Enrated is really on the wrong side. Living on
Holy crap!
Two members down, and all of a sudden Unicorns have loved
This siege is so strong. I really like Unicorn's comp here. I think it's very good.
and the crowd erupts in shock.
I like all that
The first inhibitor
Shaco shit they run.
semi-final. They are showing up with the scaling comp. This bodes well if you're a Unicorns fan.
As long as they stay out in the open where Power Weaver can sit and poke.
Yeah, there's pretty much no hope now.
Black Shield ready if needed. And there's not a whole lot SK Gaming can do to stop them. Base is open. SK once again is going to try and see if they can rush a Baron and try and force a fight potentially there. Or see if they can catch the Unicorns off guard. Vardax is going to do this dragon while the rest of the Unicorns are trying to stop this one. Sven is already being poked down.
Kickers is looking for him.
It's like shooting fish in a barrel when they're standing in there. I mean, you just poke in with your ulti from Power of Evil. Over and over.
Until your mana runs out, down to a third. Still no mana regen, despite having that Archangel staff upgraded to the Seraph's Embrace.
That is a trade-off, as
But-
I mentioned a few times. You get more damage with this build, but you get less ultis to use.
I think Rapid Star's reviews are really good.
He's landed them.
I really like them. I like watching them. I actually wish more casters or pros would do VOD reviews like this, because I find them very interesting as well. I liked when Freak did his reviews of the SKT GE games a few weeks ago, because we all notice different things and we all have different specialties. So I feel like I learn a lot too when other casters just go over it slower and talk about stuff that
We were
comes
talking
up.
about this matchup. Forgiven. Will he get sniped? Let's see. Shot after shot, he manages to get away. So Fisher, you felt quite strongly that this series could be defined by Fox and Power of Evil's performances. Because when the respective mid laners do well, their teams do well. It enables their junglers, it enables the team's style to come
Okay,
out.
well, this
As
Baron's
it
gonna die
stands,
extremely
Unicorns are
quickly.
rushing this Baron. Here comes SK. Freddy gets
Just
caught by
finish
the
it!
Again. Well, We did see the cards come up from Kickers. That was a little bit.
Thank you. Jeez.
Inopportune. Freddy's gonna get chopped down first. The front line's away. Vodex manages to avoid
Alright,
the big
that's
stun
it.
of the petrifying gaze.
This game's over now.
So many times.
That was fun.
Members as well. I mean, when you have this Hillesang creating picks.
Oh, Freddy got.
So SK, I think the takeaways from this game are SK. They wanted to play with a scaling comp. They tried to take it. They tried to make a dragon play in a power trough. That really didn't work out for them. Freddy has been out of position, and they haven't been following through with the decisions they've been making, too. And this siege comp from Unicorns is really, really strong. And stop giving Hillesang Morgana.
Primarily on that Cogmore.
That's enough.
True. Touche.
Then you got a little bit from the Jinx, and you got the executing.
It's too good. Too good.
58,000 gold for Unicorns. Supers in 2 lanes, and they're gonna take an doing battle with the Unicorn.
Yeah, this is just whatever.
We do see in that back.
Okay, they win. Great. Good times. Let's go on to the next game.